Welcome to my channel Echoes of Coin. The 1943 1-cent coin, commonly referred to as the 1943 steel penny, holds one of the most fascinating stories in American numismatic history. This coin was produced during World War II, a time when the United States government was faced with unprecedented demands for resources to support the war effort. Traditionally, Lincoln cents had been made of copper, but copper was critically needed for wartime materials such as ammunition and other essential military supplies. To conserve copper, the United States Mint made the bold decision to change the composition of the penny in 1943. Instead of the usual bronze alloy, the cent was struck in zinc-coated steel, creating one of the most unusual issues in the history of U.S. coinage. The decision to produce a steel cent was not taken lightly. The Mint experimented with different materials before arriving at the solution of using steel coated with zinc. This combination allowed the coin to retain a silvery appearance while also ensuring that copper was preserved for military needs. The 1943 steel cent immediately stood out from earlier and later pennies due to its distinctive look. While previous cents had a reddish or brownish copper tone, the 1943 steel penny had a grayish-silver appearance that resembled a dime more than a cent. This led to confusion among the public, as people often mistook the steel cent for other denominations. The design of the 1943 steel penny remained consistent with earlier Lincoln cents. The obverse bore the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909. Around the portrait were the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1943 to the right. On the reverse, the wheat ears design remained, with the words "E pluribus unum" at the top, 1 cent at the center, and United States of America below. Though the composition changed, the design carried forward the tradition of the Lincoln wheat cent. The steel penny was minted at 3 locations in 1943: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins carry no mint mark, while the Denver coins feature a small D, and the San Francisco coins a small S beneath the date. Collectors today value these coins differently based on condition, mint mark, and rarity. However, despite the effort to conserve copper, the steel penny presented a number of problems. The zinc coating wore off quickly in circulation, exposing the steel beneath to rust and corrosion. This resulted in unattractive, spotted coins that often degraded rapidly in appearance. Additionally, the steel cent was slightly magnetic, which made it difficult to use in vending machines and coin-operated devices that relied on non-magnetic materials. The public response to the steel penny was mixed, and many people disliked the coin. Because of these challenges, the Mint abandoned the steel cent after 1943 and returned to a copper-based composition in 1944. Among all U.S. coins, the 1943 1 cent holds a unique place in history because of its rare variations and minting errors. The most famous of these are the 1943 copper cents. By mistake, a small number of 1943 pennies were struck on leftover copper planchets from 1942. Instead of being made of steel coated with zinc, these error coins were made of the traditional bronze alloy. Today, the 1943 copper cent is one of the most valuable coins in American numismatics, with single examples selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. Collectors are fascinated by this error, and the rarity of the coin has made it legendary. On the other side, in 1944, when the Mint returned to copper coins, a few steel planchets from 1943 accidentally got struck with the 1944 design, creating another highly prized error. Both the 1943 copper cent and the 1944 steel cent are considered holy grails for coin collectors. These errors highlight the transition period and the minting challenges of the wartime era. The regular 1943 steel cents, while produced in enormous numbers, also carry collector interest. More than 1 billion steel cents were struck in 1943, making them one of the largest mintages for any single-year U.S. coin. Despite their abundance, they remain popular due to their historical significance and unusual composition. For most collectors, owning a 1943 steel penny is a way to hold a tangible artifact from the World War II era. The value of a 1943 steel penny today depends heavily on its condition. Circulated coins are common and generally inexpensive, often selling for a modest price. However, uncirculated examples, particularly those with original bright luster and no signs of rust, can command higher premiums. Coins with full original zinc coating that appear brilliant and untarnished are highly desirable among collectors. Additionally, coins with strong strikes and well-preserved details add further to their appeal. The 1943 penny's story is not only about minting but also about its cultural symbolism. During the war years, the penny became a reminder of the sacrifices being made on the home front. Every American who held a steel cent in their hand knew it was a product of a nation at war, a coin born out of necessity and resourcefulness. The shift in composition represented how deeply the war effort permeated daily life in America. Even the smallest coin was transformed to meet the needs of the time. The fascination with the 1943 1 cent has persisted for generations. It remains one of the most studied and discussed coins, both for its historical significance and for the thrill of discovering rare variations. Many collectors started their interest in coin collecting after encountering a steel penny in circulation or hearing the story of the elusive 1943 copper cent. It has served as an entry point into numismatics for countless individuals. Even though the 1943 steel cent was only minted for 1 year, its impact on coin collecting has been profound. It represents a moment when necessity and history converged, leaving behind a coin that tells a story far beyond its face value. It is more than a piece of currency. It is a symbol of innovation, sacrifice, and the unpredictability of history. To this day, the 1943 steel penny sparks curiosity and excitement. Whether in a collection, a coin shop, or a history book, it continues to remind us of a remarkable chapter in American life. Its rarity variations inspire treasure hunters, its common issues connect collectors to the past, and its story ensures that it will never be forgotten. For anyone interested in coins, history, or the legacy of World War II, the 1943 1 cent remains one of the most fascinating and meaningful coins ever produced in the United States. The 1943 1 cent coin, popularly known as the steel penny, represents one of the most fascinating and unusual chapters in the history of American coinage. At first glance, it looks nothing like the traditional pennies Americans had been accustomed to for decades. Instead of a warm copper tone, the 1943 cent bore a silvery gray appearance that more closely resembled a dime. This dramatic change was not an artistic choice but a necessity born out of one of the most challenging moments in American history, the Second World War. As the United States mobilized for war after the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, the demand for raw materials skyrocketed. Copper, which had long been the principal metal used in 1 cent coins, suddenly became a strategic material. Copper was needed in enormous quantities to manufacture shell casings, ammunition, communication wires, electrical components, and other essential military supplies. Every pound of copper saved on coinage could be redirected to the war effort. This situation forced the United States Mint to confront a pressing question. How could the penny be produced without copper? In 1942, Mint officials and metallurgists conducted extensive experiments to identify alternative materials that could replace copper in the production of cents. Aluminum, brass, glass, and even plastics were tested. Each option came with challenges such as cost, durability, or suitability for mass production. Eventually, the decision was made to strike the 1 cent coin on low-grade steel planchets coated with a thin layer of zinc to prevent rusting. The choice was practical. Steel was relatively inexpensive, widely available, and durable enough for circulation. Zinc coating gave the coins a brighter silvery appearance when newly minted, though the coating often wore away over time. The 1943 cent carried the familiar design introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln remained unchanged, with "In God We Trust" inscribed above the head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date to the right. The reverse still displayed the iconic wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent in the center, with United States of America below and the motto E Pluribus Unum above. The design continuity reinforced the idea that, despite the material change, the penny still represented the same national symbol. In terms of production, the 1943 steel cent was struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia produced the largest share, with over 680 million coins, while Denver struck more than 217 million and San Francisco produced over 191 million. Combined, over 1 billion steel cents entered circulation in 1943, making it one of the largest mintages for a single-year issue in U.S. history. Despite such massive production, these coins quickly stood out to the public because of their color and weight. The introduction of the steel penny was met with mixed reactions. On one hand, it symbolized patriotic sacrifice, a small but visible reminder that every American was contributing to the war effort, even through the change in their pockets. On the other hand, the coin presented practical problems. The zinc coating tended to wear off, exposing the steel core, which was prone to rust and corrosion. Many steel cents quickly developed spots or dark patches, giving them an unattractive appearance. Additionally, their silvery color caused confusion. Some people mistook them for dimes. Their slightly magnetic quality also made them incompatible with vending machines, coin-operated devices, and pay telephones, which had been designed to work with non-magnetic coins. These drawbacks led to widespread dissatisfaction among the public. Because of these issues, the steel penny experiment lasted only a single year. In 1944, the mint returned to a copper-based alloy for the 1-cent coin, but instead of using newly mined copper, the metal came primarily from recycled shell casings and other wartime materials. This decision brought the familiar reddish-brown appearance back to the cent, much to the relief of the public. While the standard 1943 steel cent is common, the year is most famous for its rare and extraordinary minting errors. Chief among these is the 1943 copper cent. During the transition from copper to steel, a few leftover bronze planchets from 1942 were accidentally fed into the coin presses in 1943. As a result, a very small number of 1943 pennies were struck in copper instead of steel. These coins are among the most coveted rarities in American numismatics. Estimates suggest only about 20 to 40 genuine examples exist across all three mints. Their extreme rarity and legendary status have made them highly valuable, with individual coins selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. Similarly, a reverse error occurred in 1944, when the mint resumed copper cents. A small number of leftover steel planchets from 1943 were accidentally struck with the 1944 dies, creating the rare 1944 steel cent. Like the 1943 copper cent, the 1944 steel cent is also highly prized, with values reaching into six figures when found in top condition. Both of these error coins highlight the challenges of transitioning materials during wartime minting and serve as key rarities in the Lincoln Cent series. Beyond errors, collectors also value regular 1943 steel cents based on condition and mint mark. While circulated examples remain affordable, uncirculated coins with brilliant original zinc coating are harder to find. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional services such as PCGS or NGC can bring substantial premiums. Special varieties such as double dies or off-center strikes add further layers of interest for advanced collectors. Auction records provide a dramatic illustration of the value of these coins. In 2010, a 1943 copper cent graded MS-63 sold for over $1 million, one of the highest prices ever paid for a Lincoln cent. In subsequent years, other examples have achieved similarly staggering prices, cementing the 1943 copper penny as one of the most famous and desirable coins in the entire world. By contrast, while steel cents are generally inexpensive, superb uncirculated rolls or specially preserved pieces can also attract strong interest from collectors. The legacy of the 1943 steel penny extends far beyond its monetary value. It embodies the intersection of economics, technology, and history. It tells the story of a nation at war, adapting even its smallest coin to meet the demands of global conflict. It illustrates how something as ordinary as a penny can reflect extraordinary circumstances. For many collectors, the steel cent represents a tangible link to the World War II era, evoking images of rationing, scrap drives, and the shared sacrifices of an entire population. Generations of collectors have been introduced to numismatics through the 1943 penny. School children often hear tales of the rare copper cent and eagerly check their change in hopes of finding one. This sense of discovery, combined with the visual uniqueness of the steel cent, makes it an ideal gateway coin that sparks curiosity about the broader world of coin collecting. For advanced numismatists, the 1943 cent offers an endless source of study, from minting variations to metallurgical analysis, making it both accessible and endlessly intriguing. Even today, the 1943 steel penny continues to capture the public's imagination. Though it was produced in enormous numbers, it remains one of the most recognizable and iconic coins in American history. Its story reminds us that even small objects can carry immense historical weight. It demonstrates that coins are more than just money. They are artifacts of their time, telling stories about the people, priorities, and struggles of the era in which they were made. The 1943 1-cent coin, born out of necessity, remains a symbol of resilience, sacrifice, and the ingenuity of a nation under extraordinary pressure.